Check, check. That's on. Levels look good. Hopefully the lighting looks good. What's happening? Just trying to make sure everything looks right, sounds right. The usual stuff. Sticks, what's happening? Threaded headwear checking in. What's going down, man? G6 Customs, what's happening? G6, you back in town or are you out of town still, man? You still out in Puerto Rico or wherever you was at? Diz, what's happening? Appreciate that, Sticks. Alex, what's happening? Cool. Glad we got a bunch of people jumping on, man. How y'all doing? I know we're a little earlier. We're like 15 minutes early from 7 o'clock, but I was just trying to test things out before 7 o'clock hit. Yeah, as long as everybody's good, cool, man. If you got like if your business or your brand isn't the same as your screen name on here or your username on here, shout your business out so I could put the business to the person, you know what I mean? Like Threaded Headwear, I know that's him. G6 Customs, I know that's him. Dismajiz, obviously I know that's him. But if you know whatever your name is if it's different from your business, throw it out there. Devoted, what's happening? On Instagram, I'm Sticky Icky Clothing. Hell yeah, that's right. Stevie Steve, what's happening? Shout out Devoted Brand. Shout out to Sticky Icky. Dope, man. Yeah, I don't got much. You know what I mean? I'm just here to answer some questions. That's all it is. 7 o'clock is 9:45 here. Yeah, man, I'm a little 15 minutes early. I just wanted to jump on early, test out the microphone. My lights had broke, so I'm using just like the available lights, ceiling light, lamp light, stuff like that. Obviously, you could still see it's still bright out here in Los Angeles, but I was just trying to test things out. Let me see, Kathleen Thompson, what's happening? Nalaja, I think that's your name. I might be messing that one up. What's happening? I just bought some 3-in-1 oil today. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ride Beats, what's going down, brother? Yeah, that 3-in-1 oil, man, that shit works. Like I said, I don't know if that's the right oil to be using because I think some people were talking about there's like different types of oils to use on different like the oil that you would use on your to grease up your garage door is different than like some other stuff that you would use. So, you know what I mean? Stevie Steve, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. But the 3-in-1 is what I found to use. It has that little like sniper spout, like the little skinny spout, so you could just dab little drops here and there. It's basically how I do it. Kathy from KBK Embroidery and Vinyl. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's happening? And that kind of stuff works on everything. Like heat presses, they squeak and they're gonna make some crazy noises. It's not a big deal, but sometimes it does get annoying. So that's why I use that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you. Like that video didn't do nothing, man. We got like 100 views on that thing. So I could tell nobody really cares about the squeak or like a heat press maintenance, I guess you could say. So, you know, it is what it is. Just trying to help the people out. Let me see, Fat Heck, what's going down, man? Appreciate everybody for jumping on. You know what I mean? I just had a homie come to the shop, dropped off some t-shirts, and I was showing him some t-shirts and letting him compare a bunch of stuff. And he has a lot of clients out in Hawaii. He's a freelance graphic designer, so he has a lot of different clients. Yeah, came through, and I was showing him a bunch of the different blanks, AS Color stuff from like the heavy shirts to the classic to the block. I even showed him like some of the Shaka stuff because he's used to using the 1301 t-shirts. Um, so he was asking me, he was like, "Hey man, like 1301s, um, kind of a little inconsistent, kind of a weird sometimes I get good sizing, sometimes I get bad sizing." I'm like, "Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I stopped." So I showed him what I like using now, which is the block shirt from AS Color, and he was like, "Man, it feels a little thin." And then I had showed him an old 1701 all style, like an old brand new all style 1701 t-shirt, and I showed it to him, and then he was just like, "Oh man, like this shirt right here feels good." And I'm like, "Man, it's basically the same thing." And once he touched them both, he felt, just because the cotton was softer on the block shirt, he thought it was thinner. And then we threw it on the scale and they both measured up to be exactly the same. So he was kind of blown away. But then I noticed that type of comparison is something you have to do in person. Like I couldn't even make a video about that because it's something you got to touch, you got to feel that, which basically solidified me bringing the sample packs back for sure, and using the block shirt so that way people could actually touch it and feel it before they order it, or maybe it's not even for them, but just so they get an idea, you know what I mean? Let me see. Still a good video to have in the arsenal. Oh, you're talking about the 3-in-1. Yeah, you know what I mean? People, when their heat presses start squeaking, they might end up looking up like how to stop it, so that's where they'll find that video. Alex said, "Looks like I need to open a retail store for my brand and custom tees, but within 20 miles of me, there's no good malls, and I'm rural, so there's no office buildings. Help! What should I do?" Um, I mean, if people are already driving to you, like for you to say, "I need to open a retail store," meaning you have a ton of customers already hitting you up, or you have a ton of customers driving to see you to shop with you, you could open up anywhere. You know what I mean? Like at that point, anywhere is better than anything. You know what I mean? If that's what it is, if that's what you're kind of like going for, because like let's say customers are coming to your house and now you have a steady flow of traffic of people coming to your house, that means people are driving from wherever they're at to see you, to shop with you. So it doesn't matter where your store is or where your location is going to be, people are going to drive to see you. So that's like the easiest thing. It doesn't have to be an office space, it doesn't have to be in a mall, it could be in a shopping plaza. If you have any type of space, retail space, commercial space, anywhere, you could just start setting up shop because you already proven to show, hey, people are down to drive to you to buy from you already. So what's stopping them from doing it, anywhere else? So I would say start looking anywhere. If it's 20 miles out, people are going to drive 20 miles plus to come see you. If it's proven to you, like if you're saying it looks like I need to open a retail store now for my brand, that means people are looking for you. You're in demand. So it doesn't matter where you're at, they're going to come see you. Let me see. G Dad, what's happening? Heat press maintenance is important. It isn't important. You know what I mean? It is. I think so. Let me see. A lot of my people have been asking for comfort colors lately, t-shirts and crew necks. Yeah, comfort colors, every time they're at the trade shows, they tend to have a big crowd in there. So I know it's a popular t-shirt now. The oil thing, all the companies want you to use the oil they have. So yeah, what kind of oil is in that can? Fuck, I don't know what kind of oil it is, man. Like I said, I found it on Amazon. I was just looking for something that would clean and lube at the same time. Um, so I found that because it had that little spout, and you could just. I only need a little dot. You don't need to soak that sucker. A little dot goes a long way, and once you work it in, it's good for a while. Feeling good today. Got my LLC, EIN, business bank account. Website is up. Gonna get my Shopify store done this week. Time to make that money. Justin Jacobson, get that money, man. That's what I'm talking about. One, that's a good feeling. Two, congrats on that thing because I celebrate ownership. So anytime anybody owns something of something, man, I celebrate you and I celebrate that accomplishment because that's dope as hell. But you're right, man. Time to get to that money. Let me see. All the way from KC, Eric checking in. What's happening? How would you set up your own website? Have no idea. I use Shopify. That's the easiest way for me to get an online store. And basically, I get my domain, like bigbrando.com, is purchased from hover.com. That's where they sell domain names, .coms, .orgs, whatever you want. So I buy it from there, and it's usually dumb cheap, like $10 a year, something like that. So I got bigbrando.com, and then I have a Shopify store, and then I just forward bigbrando.com to that Shopify store. So when you type in bigbrando.com, it takes you straight to the Big Brando page on my Shopify store. That's how I use it. Like to make a full website and all that, I don't know nothing about that. I'm not a web designer. I don't know code. I don't know any of that. I try to go for the easiest thing possible. Shopify makes it very easy for my dumbass to get going, so that's why I use it. Any suggestions on how I can rent workspace to do my vinyl and shirt pressing? Still can't afford to take on an entire spot yet. If you're looking for like a spot to just like work out of, get a small office space, man. Like I think you're in Gardena, or if you're not in Gardena, I know you're in the South Bay or Harbor area somewhere. Um, there's tons of them everywhere, man. Um, One of them is called Sunny Hills Management or something like that. They own a shitload of properties in the South Bay. Um, Surf Management is another one that's in the South Bay. Those ones, they don't have too many small rentable units. And then on Vermont, right past 190th, there's like a big church. I think it's called Calvary Church. That street's called Knox. If you're like going south on Vermont past 190th, you see that church on the left hand side, make a left on Knox and go all the way down. That right there is called Creative Space. There's like a big ass building that they just rent out little tiny offices. You could do month to months there. You could do all kind of stuff, and that right there will get you going. Like if you just needed somewhere to plug up a computer, your vinyl cutter, heat press, or whatever it is, you don't need a ton of space. That'll get you going. But for the most part, what I would say is like try to like knock out the house as long as you can so you don't have to eat that extra overhead. What is the best Shopify website to use? Just shopify.com, man. I think that's what you're asking. What do you think about starting a clothing brand with print on demand first? The hard part with print on demand, I say this in a lot of videos, a lot of lives. Um, you don't know nothing about the quality control that the print company has. Like they're going to tell you we have good quality control, but from my experience of people sending me their shirts from print on demand companies, the print's crooked. Sometimes the print's pressed up right up on the neck, like where it looks like misplaced. The colors look very muted. I've had horrible experiences with people sending me their stuff from the print on demand places, and the hard part is if you're the brand owner, you never get to see the finished product. Like you're not going to see what the customer sees until the customer receives it and they complain, or they don't like it and then they just don't shop with you. So that's why I always say like, man, try to stay away from that kind of stuff, because if you're going to get into this, like you at least want to see what the finished product looks like if you're putting your name behind it. Because if not, you're putting all the trust into that company. And what if that company just has like some stoner dude that's a burnout that's running the DTG machine and he don't really care? It's not his brand. He's just trying to get the orders out and he's just loading the shirts up. Or what if he doesn't pre-treat the shirt right, and then the print's all jacked up? Or what if he's like printing the shirt and doesn't care about the placement because it's not his brand, and then he just ships it out to your customer? Then your customer gets it and the shit's crooked or it looks bad or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Especially if this is your brand. Like if you're putting your name behind this thing and this is the company you're starting, it's very hard to do that and not be a part of the quality control that the customer sees on the back end, if that makes any sense. So that's why I don't think it's a good idea. But at the end of the day, it just all depends on what's comfortable for you. Like if that's the route you wanted to go, by all means go for it. But I would really, really look into like the print on demand company and try to get these companies to ensure you that the quality is going to be what you hope it's going to be, if that makes any sense. I've seen you on a few infomercials for transfers and heat presses. Keep doing your thing. I don't know. I haven't seen any of those infomercials unless people are like taking my videos and putting them on shit. That's probably what it is. Um, but I haven't seen myself on any infomercials. That's pretty crazy. Finding Shopify is easy to use. Yeah. G6, you ain't lying, man. 3-in-1 has been around a long time. I use it on everything squeaking. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Doris. Hey, I use it on the heat presses. The shit works, man. I have no complaints about anything. And that one little bottle, man, I've had that shit for years. I've had it for years. And like I said, a little dot on each of the moving joints does the deed. There are some climate controlled storage units, set up shop in there. Man, I'll tell you this. There's a dude, if you ever look up on Instagram, the brand is called Rebel Reaper, like Reaper, like the Grim Reaper. Matt, the dude that owns that, this is like probably like 7-8 years ago, probably even longer than that. He's from Arizona, and he was pressing t-shirts out of a storage unit, an outdoor storage unit in Arizona in the 120-degree weather, pressing t-shirts. And now that dude got the biggest retail store, and he's dropped some of the craziest shit. So if you needed to get busy in a storage unit, it's doable, man. It is very, very doable. Check out Rebel Reaper, hit him up and be like, yo, Big Brando said you was pressing t-shirts out of a storage unit, and he'll tell you. Like, that dude he's been in the game for a little bit. Like, since I got onto YouTube, we connected through there. He was watching some of my videos, and then yeah, his brand is crazy huge now in the motorcycle world. His brand is huge. But that's how he got started, was just banging stuff out in a storage unit in Arizona in the middle of the desert, pressing t-shirts, man. Let me see. Razor Sharp, what's happening? At what point do you think it's good to go from doing heat transfers yourself to finding a manufacturer? When you could keep up with the demand, when you could like it all depends, you know what I mean? If you want to stock a bunch of shit, then that's cool. You know what I mean? If you have the demand for it, like if you're constantly moving units, then yeah, like you could outsource everything. You could start getting your shit screen printed if the demand is there. The reason I keep saying the demand, because the moment you start screen printing a bunch of stock, you got to store that stock somewhere. You know what I mean? And like, let's say you store it at the house, or you're storing it in a retail location. If it's not moving, it's just taking up space. And to me, that space and that real estate within there is worth more than the actual t-shirts that are up on those shelves. You know what I mean? If it's not moving. So as long as the demand is there for those products that you're selling, then there's nothing wrong with getting stuff screen printed and stocking it, because it's going to be moving, right? And you're going to sell out of stuff, you re-up on stuff. You're going to sell out of stuff, re-up on stuff. If it's moving like that, then yeah, if doing all the production work on the back end is getting a little bit too time consuming for you because you can't keep up with the demand, that's when you start outsourcing and going through manufacturing and stuff like that. That's when I would do it. Like, for myself, I know what it's like to have dead stock. You know what I mean? Having a shitload of size smalls and mediums that you can't move. And then it just takes up space. And then you got all these new designs and these new collections dropping every season, and it's just piling up and you can't get rid of it. So, you know, to me, that's like I said, that real estate in your shop or in your workspace is more valuable than the actual t-shirts that's on there, because you want to constantly keep, you know, putting new shit out, and you want to keep offering a lot of things. But if you're not moving them, you're just going to be piling up and you're going to get buried under that stuff. That's why I'm saying, like, controlling your inventory with a heat press while you can is the easiest call, because now you're just stocking blank t-shirts and you're not wasting any blank t-shirts. If you have a bunch of size smalls and mediums, that's cool. Keep them. They're not printed until somebody buys them. Then you can print on it and ship it out. But you don't have to keep restocking those sizes until somebody buys it. Shopify has different variations to use. What is the best one to use as far as starting out? I use the $30 one, Eric. The $30 Shopify storefront. That's the one that I use. Works for me. Let me see. Michael, what's happening, bro? Therese, for renting, check out storage facilities. We have one for our B business, 14 by 40 with AC, 24/7 access. We're out of Arizona and the AC does work. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Glenn, what's happening? Guam checking in. Do you ever find DTFs from Super to not be CMYK color accurate? I pressed the blue logo on a black Shaka hoodie and the blue is darker than the computer CMYK file. I haven't. The only time that I've noticed the color difference is in browns, um, because I'm guessing it's hard to print browns because it's a lot of different colors like that make up brown. So sometimes it looks a little pixelated, like you could see all the little dot patterns to create the brown. But I haven't had any inconsistencies with like what the color profile is versus what's printed. My only guess, and this is a long guess, is if there's any polyester in the hoodie that you pressed, there might have been a little bit of dye migration that ended up changing the outlook of the print once it was on the hoodie. Like, and that only happens with polyester stuff. But when you press polyester and you heat up polyester, what it does is it heats up the pigment within the fibers, and the gases from that pigment end up releasing off of the shirt and then onto the print. So like if you printed white on top of burgundy and burgundy polyester, the white will start to look pink a little bit. Same thing happens with like yellows. Same thing happens with basically any polyester color shirt. Like if you did black polyester shirt with white print, the print will end up looking gray or like a little bit of brown tint to it because of the dye migration. That's my guess. I don't know if your hoodie was polyester or had polyester in it, but I haven't had any issues. But if you do have like if the colors are off, hit them up and be like, "Yo, man, the colors are off," and then they'll help you work it through. Or if it is on their fault, like if it is their fault and the machine was bad or the print was bad, they'll reprint it for you. Just built a Horizon thing. Oh, Eric, if you're asking about like what Shopify template to use, I just use the free ones, man. Like I find a free one that looks cool. The one I've been using like fuck, I don't even know, for like the last 15, 18 years or something like that. That's I've been using the same exact one. I don't know the name of it, but I just kind of look for the basic templates and themes, and then that's what I go based off of. Being my own print on demand was the best decision, especially for my business model. Dead stock, stinky fish. Yeah, the ideas I thought were going to be a banger ended up sitting, and vice versa. That it happens to all of us, man. I have a ton of them that are just like that. You know what I mean? But being able to stock the blanks and then you replenish as you go and control your inventory. It's for a home business or startup or whatever you want to call it. That's probably the best route to go, only because it makes our lives easier when we could control our own inventory because we know how much room we have in the wherever we're working out of. You know what I mean? Shit, 40% polyester, is that enough to screw up transfer color? Yeah, it is. Man, I've seen like even like 20% polyester. So what you want to do is like when you get transfers, try to get transfers that have a sub blocker in it. So like if you're using super color has a low melt option, and the super color low melt blocker, I think that's what it's called, has a sub blocker in it. So that way you won't experience any dye migration and stuff like that. Let me see. When doing custom orders, what credit card processing does everyone use? Like Square, PayPal, or something else? I use Shopify. Shopify gives you a card reader, or it doesn't give you. You have to order a card reader. It's one of those tap, insert, chip, swipe ones. But yeah, you can use basically whatever is comfortable with you. I know some people that do custom work, they use Venmo and Cash App and Zelle also. So it all depends on how you want to get busy. What a big brand of appreciate wait, try appreciative of the knowledge you shared. Salute. What high school did you attend? Don't mind me asking. I went to Gardena High, man. Oh, very appreciative. Well, Keith, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for soaking up some of the info. But I appreciate it, man. I went to Gardena High School, brother. Low melt blocker. Yeah, like whenever I'm doing anything that has a little bit of polyester in it, I get something that has a blocker. Usually, if it's the from Supercolor, I'll do the low melt blocker. It works. You are a godsend. The passion, info, and time you put into sharing your knowledge is amazing. I appreciate that, fat heck. The the biggest reason I do these lives and the biggest reason why I have this YouTube channel is to help people that are just like myself. Somebody that's trying to look for some information or trying to get into the game instead of like making the search that much harder. I'll try to share whatever I like, whatever knowledge I have with anybody that wants to like check it out. You know what I mean? Um, and sometimes the information falls on deaf ears. Like we were talking about the 3-in-1 oil video I just put up. She did like 100 views. It doesn't mean that nobody's interested in that type of content. What it just shows me is nobody's really experienced that yet until they have to search up why is my heat press squeaking, and then it's going to come up with my video with the 3-in-1. So a lot of people haven't experienced a squeaky heat press yet. Maybe they haven't did that many presses, or maybe they just got their press and it's brand spanking new. But the information I put out is all useful. It just might not be useful now. You know what I mean? Later down the road, shit might be useful. And you're like, oh shit, man, this video from 7 years ago just helped me out. That's why I put these videos out. But that's also why I get on live to try to help out as much as I can. Especially when people have questions, I rather just bang them through like this. You know what I mean? Like this one says, do you do brand reviews? I really don't. I used to do this thing called boxing session where you would send me some stuff, I'll unbox it and then talk about it. Um, I started to get a lot of like bad products, and not because like it's not living up to my standards. It's like because the print's crooked, or the colors look bad, or it's misplaced, or it's a little too high to the collar, especially when people are sending me stuff from their print on demand companies. And my job isn't to bash another business. My job isn't to, talk down on another small business trying to come up. So that's one of the big reasons why I stopped doing it, was because my input and my criticism on whatever somebody's doing, and I'm going to give my honest review. When those prints were crooked, I recorded the video and I sent it to the person directly first. And I said, hey, before I post this, I want you to see this. And if you don't want me to post it, I won't post it. And every single time that happened, they're like, nah, don't post it because it makes the brand look bad. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the reasons I stopped. The other reason is because people start sending me some crazy shit in my PO box. So I haven't set up another one yet. So I kind of don't do it on camera no more. If somebody sends me some shit, I might do it, but for the most part, it just depends if people send me the stuff. And this is another thing, was people started sending me stuff thinking like they were gonna get like a shitload of publicity on my channel because of my following. But you got to remember, like, my following are all brand owners also. They're not going to be customers. I mean, maybe some of them might, but it's a far stretch that my following would be a customer to a brand, because everybody else owns brands. Everybody else is doing their own thing too. So, a lot of people were kind of getting mad because there was no real return on like, hey man, that video didn't do numbers. And I'm like, hey, it's not on me to make sure your video does numbers. I'm just putting the info out. You know what I mean? So when people are looking at it as just trying to promote their brands and get it on my channel, then they notice that wasn't no customers coming from my channel to their website. They thought it was, slanted or slighted a little bit. And it's like, it's not that way. It's just, you got to remember, the audience that's watching my channel are all business owners. Everybody in this chat right now is a brand owner, business owner also, not necessarily a customer. So, it doesn't work out. So that's one of like the big reasons why I stopped doing it also. But, if somebody sends me some shit and it's cool, you know what I mean? Like the homie, the native mailman, I don't know if he's in here, but he had sent me a Harley shirt. I unboxed that shit on a like one of my vlogs, the shop life vlog. I unboxed it on there because I was like, man, he sent me a Harley shirt straight from Milwaukee. I thought that shit was dope. Let me see. You had a video where you were wearing a hang loose, but graffiti style was fire. Oh, that was from this dope ass tattoo artist out here in, I think it's Garden Grove area. He tattoos out of A Town Tattoo. His name's Leo. That was his shirt. That's his shit's dope as hell. But yeah, that was if you ever look up Leo Tattoos, I think that's his name. Let me give him a proper shout out on here. Let me see. Yeah, his name's Leo Tattoos. If you ever look him up, he's the one that tattooed my leg. But Leo Tattoos, that was his shirt with the shaka, and it has like some crazy like design and gradients in it. That was his shit. Prophet said, "What's gonna be Brando? I'm just dabbling in embroidery, self-taught digitizer. Hell yeah!" And learning how to adjust the tension for quality outcome. Are you always adjusting your tension on your Racoma? The only time I'll mess with the tension is if I change out the thread. Like once I get it dialed in and the thread's on, or if I like say I break a needle or something and I have to like rethread it through and then put a new needle, then I'll check the tension again. But that's usually the only time. I'm not doing it like every job, getting into the maybe you're supposed to be doing that. I haven't. The way we'll do it is like we set up the thread, we'll run an eye test on, you know, on some stabilizer or something. We'll check the tension. If everything looks pretty dead on, then we just run it until the thread goes. And then once the thread goes, we'll do an eye test just on that color and then check the tension again. But threaded headwear, if you got anything to chime in, Prophet, if you don't know, threaded headwear, he has a Racoma also. Well, he has a embroidery machine, Racoma. And he's hands-on with his shit. His content's dope all around his machine. So he'd be a dope person to chop it up with too. So Prophet threaded headwear, you know what I mean? Should be dope. I would be honored if you reviewed Devoted brand. Yeah, man. Like once I get a PO box set up again, you guys send me whatever you guys want. Let me see. Would you do a sit down interview on a channel that is beginning growing? Hell yeah, I do that shit all the time, man. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen, but I rarely do interviews. Like the last one I did was with Heat Press Nation. Who else was I on? Heat Press Nation was probably like one of the last ones that I did like a couple years ago. But then with like other channels, man, somebody hits me up and was like, "Yo, man, like, can I interview you?" I'm down, man. Sometimes I do them at festivals. If people catch me out, I'll do it with them. I have no problem. It's not about channel size. It's mainly about being able to share any type of information. You know what I mean? So I'm down, man. Your level of integrity is rare and very much appreciated. Makeda, I appreciate that 100%. Thank you for that. But for myself, you know, it's I learned early on that, you know, you have to treat everybody the way you want to be treated, and it doesn't always work out that way, right? There's sometimes people have other agendas, and they might be fake to you or whatever, but as long as you can be 1000% with yourself to somebody else, there's no switch up. Like the shit's gonna be the same regardless. You know what I mean? And I would hate to have to live in the shadows of my own lies or my own you know, storytelling or something like that. So I'd rather just be upfront with everybody, so then that way nobody could backpedal on me and be like, "Yo, you said this or you did this." I'm gonna be straight up and down with everybody every single time. I had some problems with my number six needle and tension for months. Come to find out, I needed to change the spring on the top tension. Butter now. Yo, that's dope. I think it's the homies from Never Scared Lifestyle. The dudes up in, I don't know if they're in Salinas, G6, you know where they're at, Santa Cruz, Salinas, something like that. Never Scared. They have an embroidery machine too. I think they have like a 3-head, 6-head, 3-head, something like that, or 2-head. They got a Racoma embroidery machine. And when they came down to the shop, they were saying that one of the needles was always messing up, whatever it was. But maybe that's all they got to do to it is replace the top tension spring. I got to let them know that. And they probably got it figured out by now. This was a couple years ago. Did say you did a mini joint with me when I couldn't make it to that. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I saw that one with Jared. Yeah, man, Jared's dope as hell, man. Shout out to Jared. Um, Sitting down with him was dope. Um, one of the, I guess I'll say this, like the guys over at Heat Press Nation, Patrick's not there no more, but Jared, Jimmy, everybody, Ronnie, the whole crew that's over at Heat Press Nation, they all showed me love from the very beginning. Like when they found out I was using their machines, they showed me love. But one of the cool things about them is they've always allowed me to be me, and that's very rare in this content creation space, because anytime like a company reaches out and they want to work with you, usually they have a look, an idea of how they want you to represent their company or their brand or whatever. And I'm only an affiliate with Heat Press Nation. Like they don't pay me or nothing like that. Like I get a small commission off of like people buying a press for my link. Like you guys know how affiliate marketing works, right? Like, hey, you buy something from my link, you get a small commission. That's all I have with them. But my loyalty lies with them because they make good ass products, but then they've always allowed me to just do me, period. They've never had an issue with the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I look, the way anything, the way I make the content, me going to their studio to make content with them. They've never once said, hey man, can you put this Heat Press Nation shirt on? Or can you do this? They invite me to all their shit. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because that just shows they trusted me to do me. And that to me is like the number one thing any company can do, man. Like one, I stand on my own integrity, but two, it's like if I'm going to work with somebody, I want to work with somebody that not just shares the same vision I have, but allows me creative freedom to just do my shit. You know what I mean? So shout out to Heat Press Nation and Jared. And sitting down with him, Jared has like really dope energy. If you guys ever met him at a trade show or just out, Jared's energy on camera and off camera is exactly the same. Dude is like such a likable dude and fucking cool as hell. Every time I see him, it's love, man. So dope. Let me see. Santa Cruz, that's where Never Scared Lifestyle's from. T-shirt giveaway on my first drop day. You think it's a good idea to get more followers and engagement on my page? Each comment tagging as a friend is an entry. Winner announced when the drop is live. Yes and no, Javier. I'll say this is free shit's always cool. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with giving away free things. There's nothing wrong with doing these giveaways where, you know, you tag a friend and blah, blah, blah. The only time it becomes not a real issue, but it doesn't work in your favor is if nobody's participating in it. Or what if just one person is tagging like their brother over and over and over and over? You know what I mean? It's that part gets discouraging. You know what I mean? So there's other ways of doing things like that. Like if you're trying to increase the excitement around your drop and stuff like that, it doesn't always have to be just a social media frenzy to try to get some excitement built up around what you're dropping. I believe in storytelling. So a lot of times, like when you're about to release something, there's a story behind what you're going to release, and it'd be dope for you to visually tell the story of what you're releasing. If you can't think of anything like that, or a way to creatively market or promote your product, because you're not going to be doing giveaways on every single drop. Unless you are, then you know that's on you. But for me, it's like I don't see there's so many companies that do those types of giveaways, right? And if the incentive isn't a grand incentive, like giving away some Super Bowl tickets or some shit like that, a lot of times people just ignore it. You know what I mean? Unless they're really into the brand. So building up just the community around the brand would be more exciting than, you know what I mean? Because if you're just like, hey, win a free t-shirt, and what if nobody likes the t-shirt? You know what I mean? in order to get people to get excited about the shit, you got to try to find other ways of getting them excited outside of just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna offer this free thing to you." Because sometimes the free thing's not enough. Like sometimes people will be like, "Yeah, that shit's cool, but not that cool." You know what I mean? And that's when it gets discouraging for us as brand owners and business owners. And the reason I'm telling you this is because there's a ton of people that I consult with. I do these one-on-ones where people are like, "Yo, I'm gonna do this," and I'm like, "All right, try it out." And they come back a month and a half later, and these are the things they're telling me is like one person was just spamming the same person over and over and over. And then on the flip side of that, it was nobody was even participating in the giveaway. And then it made the page look like, oh shit, like damn, if nobody's even doing it, you know what I mean? Like if they see the comments and there's two people that commented it, sometimes people are going to look at that and be like, I don't even know if I want to participate in this. Only two people did it. You know what I mean? Yeah, your chances are better, but a lot of times, like some people get gun shy behind their phone or through social media. So you have to, I don't want to say don't think about giving away free shit, because giving away free shit is cool. It's just very hard to do if you're putting all your marketing behind this giveaway and it doesn't work in your favor. You know what I mean? Try it out though. See if it works and see if it's for you. There's nothing wrong with it. Like there's nothing wrong with doing those giveaways. Just I'm noticing that people are only like the prize has to be worthwhile to them. And if your shirt's the shit, you know what I mean? Like your design is dope. Obviously, people are going to be into the shit, but don't let that discourage you. Think of some other marketing, like have like fucking 16, 18 different strategies that you want to do to bring excitement, bring engagement to the page, to get people excited about the drop. Don't just like put everything into one thing and then like, because if that one thing doesn't work, you're gonna have to pivot and then you're gonna have to try to drop something else, or you're gonna have to figure out a new strategy. So when I do like my marketing strategies, I'll have like a dozen things lined up. Like, all right, if this, like, I'm gonna run this for a month, and if this shit don't work and it doesn't give me no type, like, any kind of return, I'm gonna have to pivot and then go to this second plan, and then I'm gonna run this second plan for a whole month and see what that does. Usually, that's how I run it, only because you need to know what happens when the shit doesn't go in your favor. Because a lot of times shit don't go in my favor. And then that's when I'm going like, all right, plan B's next. Like now I'm gonna roll out plan B and then make this shit happen. And I'll just run through each single little strategy that I'm thinking about for that one specific drop. Um, for example, man, like I'm learning how to golf right now. I don't even know if I ever even said that shit on camera, but I'm literally, my oldest son is teaching me how to golf. I don't know shit about golf, never did it. Went to the driving range a few times, but I don't know shit. I've never even played a whole game of golf or played on a course or whatever it's called. But I'm already thinking about, oh shit, I can make all kind of dope ass t-shirts and hats for fucking the golf course. Like a bunch of nerdy shit is walking around here. I can make some fucking cool shit, right? So I'm like, all right, this is what I'll do. And I'm already thinking of like ways for product photos to get them on the course, to take pictures, ways of promoting shit outside of golf balls and golf clubs and tees, and using different things around the course that only golfers would know. Like I'm already brainstorming around a bunch of different things that could be different than what's already out there. Because there's big golf brands that are like considered streetwear golf brands that make dope shit already too. But a lot of people can't afford that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to come in and offer something on the cheaper end side of just dope ass t-shirts and hats for the casual golfer. And I'm already thinking of like, how am I going to market this to the people I want, like to the casual golfer like myself, or the beginner, or the person that doesn't want to wear the polo shirt all the time, or the person that doesn't want to wear the regular Callaway golf hat and you want to wear some cool fly shit but be on the golf course at the same time. I'm already thinking of different ways that I could market these products that I haven't even made yet to these people. So when it comes to like what you're trying to do, I hate to ramble like this, but when it comes to like, if you're just thinking about, all right, I'm going to do this free giveaway, think of like some other strategies outside of the free giveaway that you can offer, that you can do to also bring in potential customers and build up hype around the brand, and just mainly brand awareness. That's what you're going for. You want people to understand that your brand exists, and your brand isn't just here giving away free shit every single drop. The brand is here to actually be a business. You know what I mean? Sorry for the like long, drawn out answer on that, man. I'm only harping on it because, like I said, I do these one-on-ones, and I had just did one with these guys, and the follow-up one was fucking, it was a flop and it didn't work. And I was like, man, I kind of told them, but you don't know until you actually do it. You know what I mean? Let me see. I've been having trouble with my MT-1501 since I bought it in late July. I have a call with the senior Racoma rep next week. Hopefully everything gets resolved. Thanks for keeping us newbies motivated. DP216, not a problem, bro. What's the issue with the machine, or the issue that you know of, or what's stopping you from stitching up? So I meant when I said that I saw you. Sorry about the infomercial. Oh yeah, nah, not a problem, man. I saw you on HPN with the embroidery and with the, oh yeah, um one with HPN. I rock with HPN all the time, but then the embroidery company is Racoma. Um, I have their machine for one. I've spoken on a panel for them at the Impressions Expo for them. But yeah, I thought you meant like they was running ads with my face because there was a transfer company. I think it was called Acid Rain or Acid some shit. I can't remember, but it was a transfer company, a startup transfer company, and this is before the pandemic. So this is probably like 2018 or 19. But people started sending me screenshots of an ad that would play before my videos that was of me peeling up transfers and saying that I was using their transfer when I really wasn't. So that's why I was saying I think people be like chopping up my videos and pretending I'm down with them. But yeah, if it's Heat Press Nation or Racoma, I rock with those companies, man. For tension, I have two bobbins, one set at 250 on the gauge and the other set at 150, 250 for hats, 150 for flats. The embroidery comes out smooth every time. Brando has seen a sample of my hats. Yeah, man, he did this American flag hat. Well, it's a LA logo that he created with the American flag inside the LA logo, but the flag has a fucking wave to it. So it looks like the flag is like rippled underneath the lettering, flat, embroidered. Shit is clean as hell. Stars are clean. Everything about that stitch is clean. In here, I'm looking for suggestions for wholesale 5X garments, consistent and big like Shaka or Pro Club versus short shrink like Bella or Gildan. Damn, that's crazy, man. The only ones I would know of is Shaka and Pro Club. So hopefully, Michael, if somebody could help Michael out with some 5X t-shirts, my go-tos would have been Shaka and Pro Club. I was fortunate enough to do a DTF episode with Jared, Devoted Brand. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like I said, Jared's cool as fuck, man. That's a cool ass dude. Randy, is it a must when trying to create a community to explain who you are and why to purchase? I think so. I think story is everything, man. Like, and we as the brand owner, business owner, we have all the freedom to say what we want about our companies, why we do it, why we started it, what the messaging is, what the mission statement is, why we chose certain colors. All of that stuff is just to inform the customer. I think it's important only because, like, when I see brands that I'm influenced by or brands that I like I'm wearing Born and Raised shirt. This is the Born and Raised Mr. Cartoon collab. If at any time Mr. Cartoon puts out anything about him, I'm watching it because I'm like, yo, I'm a fan of Mr. Cartoon. I'm a fan. Like, he started out here at the Rhodium Swap Meet in Gardena, and he's from San Pedro, which is right down the way from here. Like, he's a local hero around here who's a well-known artist. Anytime he puts out any type of information about products he's launching, things he's doing, I'm tuning in. You know what I mean? Because the more I know, the better. And same thing with Esteban Oriol, one of my favorite photographers, Los Angeles-based photographer that creates content around things I grew up seeing. Anytime he's doing an interview or anytime he's talking about his business or brand or what he's doing, I'm tuned in. Same thing with Spanto when he was running Born and Raised. Before he passed away, every interview he did, every drop capsule he did, that he released any information about, I was tuned in. So because I like consuming that kind of content from brands, I feel like, I want to do the same, or I feel like any brand should want to do it. Like there's this kid out here in Carson, his name's Easy. He has a brand called Easy LA, EAZY.LA. If you ever look at his um Instagram page on how he launches his products, he builds up so much momentum behind every drop, and he'll do these dope ass video shoots, and everything is explaining what each drop is, and he's not even saying it. It's just a visual representation of what it is, and it's not him narrating, it's not him talking, it's not even him in front of the camera most of the time, but you can see and feel every single drop. That to me is dope as hell. And as business owners, brand owners, in order to get that messaging across, we have to be creative on how we want to get that messaging out there. Whatever way we find out how to do it, I think is the dopest thing. And it's such a, now, this day and age, it's very rare. Before, like imagine like being able to sit in like a Nike boardroom and hear about why they're going to drop these sneakers at this season. Like to understand like what goes into that would be dope if you had the inside ear and somebody was inside that Nike boardroom filming the shit or recording it so people can hear what it's all about. Like if we had more info about that shit, it'd be dope. So I feel like for small brands, we should operate like the big brands, and we should be able to do things like that. There's another brand out here from Carson. His name's Favai, dope ass dude. He has a brand called Island Avenue. That's a street here in Carson. His brand Island Avenue is sold in Nordstrom's and all over the place, man. He's about to do a collab with Nike. But what he does is he explains each drop every single time. And it's him talking about it. This is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm releasing. I'm showing the products. I'm showing why I'm doing it, where the inspiration came from. Giving a piece of your brain to the audience is so dope to me. So if you're a business owner or brand owner, I think it's very important for you to do that for your customers. And we have the power to do that, right? It's through social media. You're just making quick little 1-minute videos, stuff like that. It's pretty dope, man. I'm sorry to nerd out about that kind of shit, but like for me, that shit, like that's the kind of shit that I geek out over, is watching that kind of stuff on how brands do that, tell the story, and just all around be like, yo, man, like this is why we're dropping this, or this is why we're doing this, or this is why this is working out this way, is because we as the brand owner have the opportunity to do so, or we have the freedom to do so. For example, Hawaii's Finest out in Hawaii, that brand is the people's brand for a reason. They have multiple stores on one island. For one, they got 4 stores on the island of Oahu, just one island alone. They drop shit every single Friday, new collections every single Friday, never fails. They've been doing the shit for years now. A whole collection every Friday is wild. There's no other brand doing that shit, but they are. And the people support the shit. But if you look at the way they drop the shit, it's showing everything leading up to the drop, what's coming out, what's behind it, why they're doing it. Boom, here comes the drop. And then next thing you know, all over again. Monday, they're showing every single thing that they're doing for that Friday drop. Like I said, man, it's just dope to see and hear from the business, straight from the business, where it's not somebody giving some kind of crazy conspiracy theory. It's like, this is the way the shit's going down. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. Justin Jacobson said, I'm a mini trucker, tons of friends in the mini truck scene. My brand is geared towards that scene, so I post my trucks and tell my story of being in the scene. That's exactly it. That's all it takes, man. And that's already some shit that you're into, right? You're already into the mini trucks. So being able to live within that, and at the same exact time be able to provide content for that, easy call, Justin. Easy call. Let me see. Is following a bunch of people on Instagram that are your target audience, a good way to get followers also. Yeah, following people. Don't be shy on the follows, man. You follow whoever you want. Everybody has this weird thing of like, I only want to follow so many people because I want my followers to be more than who I follow. That's a corny way of thinking because not everybody looks at that kind of shit. Um, but for me, it's not just following, it's engaging with the people, talking to the people. You're gonna follow somebody, chat them up on the page. You know what I mean? Like really, like when I talk about engagement, I'm talking about like really talking to people. From the Big Brando TV page, I comment on a ton of people's shit all day long. I'm commenting on all kinds of pages only because that's what's driving people to look at my videos of me making shirts so they could buy shirts from me. That's basically all it is people looking at the shirts. Like the shit is dumb strategic in the simplest form, right? Like you guys seen the video of, I'm pretty sure you guys seen it, Instagram, TikTok, my son filming me pressing up shirts, blah blah blah. That's all leading up to me dropping that shirt. That's all it is. The shirt I'm wearing, it's just a lead up to me dropping the shirt, and that's it. So the there's thought that goes behind it, but at the same exact time, I'm commenting on people that can relate to Los Angeles and Honolulu. Like those are the two things on that shirt, right? Connected over the Pacific. I'm talking about LA and Hawaii. All I'm doing is looking for people that have a connection from LA to Hawaii. And there's a ton of people that moved from there to here or here to there, and they can relate to the shit. So I'm commenting on so many people's pages, following them, commenting so they could see the video, so they could see the shirt and be like, oh shit, that guy. So same thing I do. Like if you guys see me post the West Side shirt, when I post that West Side shirt, I'm in comments all day long of people that can benefit off of that West Side shirt, that would understand what that shirt means. And I'm commenting and I'm engaging with them and I'm talking with them so they could in turn buy a West Side shirt from me. Same exact thing goes for that This City Don't Love You shirt. If you're Los Angeles based and you understand what that means and you know the landmarks in the text, when I post me making that shirt or wearing that shirt, I'm in the comments all day long, days after I post that video of just me engaging with people that are from Los Angeles, that have ties to Los Angeles, that understand. I'll type in Randy's Donuts. Everybody that's bought a Randy's donut and posted about it, I'm in their comments talking to them. And then they go and they look at the video and they see that shirt with Randy's Donuts in there. Bingo. Now they're like, oh shit, like that's a dope ass shirt. And they end up buying it. That's the only way I'm selling shirts is by engagement. So it's not just by followers, it's also with actual like engagement. That's how you build the community, man. Or that's how I found to build the community. I don't know if that's the only way, but that's the way it worked for myself. Um, Let me see. How often should you do a drop release? As much as you want. Whenever you have something that you feel you're confident in, drop that shit. There should be no like, I need to drop this in 2 weeks. Nah, like if you drop something and the shit's going good, ride that motherfucker out until the trend starts to die down, then drop something else and build the wave back up. That's all it is, man. Like I haven't dropped something new in I don't know how long. And I'm still riding off West Side shirts and This City Don't Love You shirts years later. I'm just dropping new colorways every now and then, and that's it. But years later, like the shit is still popular in the sense of people are still discovering it and getting hype over the shit. And that's all I want. I just want steady income, right? I just want people to buy regularly, and I'll just keep sending these shirts out. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's not like we get caught up in seeing what big brands do, right? Like, oh shit, fall season's coming up and you got all these big brands undefeated and all these people dropping shit and their fall releases are dropping. And now you're seeing Supreme drop their fall stuff and you're like, yo, I got to get into this. Shit don't even work like that for the small business guys, like the up and comers like us. It's just dropping cool shit and just riding that bitch out. That's all it is, man. Because you got to think, like, if let's say you put yourself on a schedule like every month I want to drop some shit, but what if nobody's buying last month's shit and you keep dropping shit? It's like, come on, man, like you gotta figure out what the people want and then you start feeding them what they want. You know what I mean? It gets easier when you do it that way instead of, you're just trying to drop full collections and stuff, but you haven't even built up any type of engagement or any type of awareness around your brand first. It gets hard, man. Would you be willing to look at sites and give your opinion? I can, but I'm gonna tell you like this: like, if I'm not your customer and shit doesn't speak to me, I might have a negative opinion about it. But I'm not like, but if I'm not your customer, my opinion shouldn't even matter. You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is because your target audience, like who you're trying to make shit for, those are the people you should be saying, like, yo, man, check out, like, if you give me an honest review about my shit, I'll send you a sticker pack or something very minimal, but there has to be some sort of value attached to it. Like, if you really wanted a genuine reaction to your site, it should be from your target audience. It shouldn't be from some outsider. Like, let's say like you're into pickleball and you're selling shit to people that play pickleball. I don't play pickleball. So if you told me, hey, review my site, and I go and it's just a bunch of pickleball shit that I know nothing about, it's not going to speak to me. So I'm gonna be like, yo, man, that I don't understand anything on your site. Does that mean your site's bad? No, it just means I'm not your target audience. You know what I mean? I hate explaining it that way because it makes me sound like an asshole, but it's the honest truth. It's like, if I'm not your target audience, I can't give you a genuine opinion on what your site's about and who it speaks to because it's not speaking to me. But if you went to your target audience or to who you're trying to actually sell to and be like, yo, check this shit out, and those products speak to them or the verbiage on your site speaks to them, then bingo, that's who you need to be asking, like, yo, check my shit out. Even if you have homies or cousins or brothers, somebody that you value their opinion and they're into the same things you're into, or they would be somewhat of a target audience to you, let them know and be like, yo, check my shit out. Does it look right? Like, does this shit speak to you? Is everything laid out right? You know what I mean? It's I say that because I'm trying to get you to understand that there's a million different customers out here and there's customers for everything, but not everybody is going to be into the same things. And I used to do a lot of page reviews and site reviews and stuff like that. But that's what it came down to, was like, yo, like, the designs might be dope, but if they don't speak to me, it's not going to be dope to me. You know what I mean? But if it speaks to whoever you're trying to sell to, that's the opinion that really matters at the end of the day, not some dumbass on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's hard not to have the West Side design in my mind when I create my own full back shirts. That's the mark of a great design. I appreciate that, Michael. 1000%. What up, Brando? When you test your designs in public, how much do you need to see people like it? Do you need them to tell it's an awesome design, or you can tell just by them staring at it? It's two things. One, the main thing is vibe. Like, I'm going based off the feeling. I'm going based off of like somebody looking. But then when you get people to talk about it or take a picture of it or stop you to talk about it, that's like all the reassurance you need. You know what I mean? That, for me, I just go based off of feel. If it feels good, if I feel like I got a lot of positive reactions, I'm gonna go with it. But if I feel like it didn't do what I thought it was gonna do, then I sit on it and I don't put it out. Or maybe I'll wear it another day somewhere else just to see. And then if still I don't get the reaction that I feel I need, then I don't put it out. But it's all comes down to like gut feeling and just overall vibe, if that makes sense. I just started my brand's TikTok, posted a couple times, commented on tons of others. And within 2 hours, 75 followers, and people reposted. Put in the work and it will get you brand awareness. That's exactly it, Justin. It takes a little bit of time for us to be behind our phones and just start, just engaging with people, starting conversations, making people aware of what you're doing. And then the shit just starts to organically grow. You're proving what I'm talking about is working. Within 2 hours, you got 75 followers. That's 75 people looking at your shit. Easy call. Cecilia, thank you so much for your dedication. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you. I was just asking because I know that Shopify has its limitations. Not exactly sure what limitations. Like, this is what's on my Shopify site. If you look at mine, products, price, sizing. That's it. Very basic, dumb shit. There's no like crazy text all over the place. There's not a lot of explanation. It's just bare bones. That's what's driving the dashboard. That's what's basically there so people can buy from me. It's set up that way just so I could get transactions going. Basically, it. Let me see. Irvy, I think that's your name. Ivory, I think. What's happening? Appreciate you all for jumping on, asking these questions, man. This was a dope ass one. I'll probably stick around for another 10 minutes. So if you got some questions, man, shoot them out. 10 minutes, let's get this bitch going. We'll do some rapid fire shit if you want to. But if not, I appreciate everybody for getting busy and just asking the questions. That's what this thing is for. There's no question that's a dumb question, man. Just shoot them all out there. You know what I mean? Thank you, Brando, for sharing all with us. Really appreciate it. George, I appreciate you for jumping on and spending an hour listening. You know what I mean? Is your Shopify site Big Brando? Yeah, bigbrando.com. That's all that's on there. You'll see some West Side shirts, some LA hats, LA stuff, a couple island themed things, and that's about it. I'm willing to take the risk. Where can I post? Wait, I'm willing to take the risk. Man, just drop the .com in here. You have any shirts in local corner stores like on Consignment? Nah. I used to do Consignment a long time ago, and then I found out I was doing way more work than actually any type of ROI. Years and years and years ago, like I have my own retail store now, so I just drive the traffic for my own store. But years ago, I was trying to get my brand, thinking I needed my brand to be in a store, and then the store was like, I only can do it on Consignment. You drop off 36 pieces of what you think is dope, and we'll put it in the store. So I was hyped up, and I'm sending so many people over there, and I'm doing all this promotion for the store. Like I'm sending a ton of people to the store. And yeah, I'm sending them for my stuff, but they also sell other stuff, right? So I'm doing so much promotion for the store, but when I go to the store, my shit's on the bottom shelf and nobody could really see it. And it's not like I have big visibility because they have other brands in there, right? And those bigger brands are what's actually in the windows and what's on the big displays. I'm a small brand, so I'm on the bottom shelf, low shelf, and I'm doing all this promotion for the store. And I was like, man, fuck that. I'd rather do all the promotion for myself and my online store instead of this shit, because if I'm going to drive them somewhere, I'll drive them directly to my online store. So that's when I switched up and I said, fuck the consignment shit. Let me just do my own thing. And I just started banging it away. In my head, I used to think I'm going to be in a store that's pretty dope. You know, it's going to make my brand look a little bit more legit and people are going to shop with me. Nah, because that store owner isn't going to promote your shit. That store owner is taking a chance on you. So that alone isn't a good thing right there. If they're not going to promote me like the big brands, why am I going to be promoting them? But I was taking a chance and just saying, I want to be looked at. Yo, you could buy my stuff in this store. Every time I said that store's name, that shit just made me cringe on the inside because I was like, I should be promoting my own shit, not somebody else's store. So I stopped doing the consignment thing and stopped trying to get into other people's store and just started really promoting my online business more than anything to drive the traffic myself so I could recoup all my hard work. I wanted the shit, like I wanted the return on investment for that. Like I'm not trying to give it to somebody else, you know what I mean? G6 Custom says UVDTF is dropping soon. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's your opinion about the hat presses from HPN? I got the Signature Series cap press. If you're going to buy one, get the one that has the removable bottom platens. The reason you do that is because all hats are different sizes. Those help you eliminate the gap in between the bottom platen and the hat. That's what creates creasing. If there's, say this is the hat, bottom platen, if there's a gap like this, once it gets crushed, that's what creates the creases in the hat. So you want one that has removable, all different size bottom platens to fill in the gaps. So if you're looking into buying one, buy that one, the one that has the removable bottom platens. Is it best to do a drop for each of my several designs one by one or all at once? That, Randy, is all up to you. What do you feel confident in? If you were to pick all your designs right now, which one would you release first if you were going to do them one by one? That right there will tell you which one to release and which one's not to release. That'll tell you which one you're the most confident in. And then the other ones can fall by the wayside, man. Is it okay to get a domain from Shopify? You can. I just always use Hover because I had like big cartel sites before and Intuit sites. I had other sites before, so I've always just used Hover. But yeah, if you could buy it straight to Shopify, go for it. Red Vent, what's happening? Thought it would work for local sales. I was thinking I could offer them the display. Yeah, it's hard. Like for myself, my experience with trying to put my stuff locally into um, stores on consignment didn't work. Like offer them wholesale. Like say you'll wholesale the shirts to them and see what they say. Because if they're willing to wholesale through you, then that means they'll actually push it because now there's an incentive for them to sell the shirt. But if it's just on consignment, chances are they won't. They're not going to promote it as hard as you would. You were talking about the stuff that geeks out earlier. This is what I've been seeking out on, waiting for Tuesday evening, hanging out, getting knowledge. And I'm 54, homie. That's what I'm talking about, fat heck. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I appreciate it though, man. Like I said, there's certain things that I nerd out over, and it's like shit like that. Hearing people's stories, especially brands that I like or people I'm influenced by or I look up to. So getting a chance to hear anything like that, like anytime like Estevan Oriol's on like a podcast or something or doing an interview, I'll watch the whole shit like 50 times, you know what I mean? Just in case I missed something. Same thing with like dope designers and stuff. Like Bobby Hundreds is somebody that's dope as hell to me too. And anytime I see an article or anything about him, I'm like tuned in, like I'm trying to read the shit up, you know what I mean? Can you describe your creative process? How do you typically approach the creative stage of your work? You go blank sometimes. I don't want to say I don't go blank, but if I don't have any ideas, I don't get creative. Like I don't sit down and say, let's get creative. What I do is if I'm just out and like I was talking about golfing, I was golfing and then I'm looking around at everybody's shirts and I'm like, man, all these people wearing some weak ass shit. Like this stuff looks dumb. And then it's a lot of people just wearing like golf club brands, right? Like Callaway or Titleist and stuff like that. And yeah, that's cool. You want to represent the clubs you got and shit like that. And I get that part of the game. But at the end of the day, I'm like, man, like there should be some cool shit out here. And that's when my head starts going. So then I write down in my notes app. I just have tons and tons of ideas in my notes app of just different shit. Like these are all different like like this one's like shirt ideas, and I just write down like a brief description and then like of what I was thinking. And then I'll take that and then I'll take a piece of paper and a pencil and then I'll sketch it out of what the idea is. That's my creative process. I don't know if everybody's like that, but that's how I do things. Is I could be out somewhere, I could be anywhere, and I could be like, man, I can make a better shirt than that, or it would be dope if somebody sold a shirt that looked like this. And then I will just write down every description that I have into my notes app. And then when I have a chance to sit down and sketch something out, I open up my notes app and be like, yo, I thought about this idea. Let me try to bring this to life. That's all I do. So I don't like say, all right, it's 8 o'clock. Let me sit down and pull out the old pen and pad and see what comes up. For me, it's just whenever any idea sparks me, I put it in my notes app in my phone. So then that way, when I get a chance to sit down and get creative, I have a reference to go off of. And then I can be like, yo, let me try to bring this idea to life. And then I just kind of immerse myself into that shit, if that makes any sense. This is truly dope that you do this. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for jumping on. 718, what's happening? I do the same thing. Yeah. Tried out Supercolor. The designs feel so smooth, not the normal DTF. So thanks for your shares. It's appreciated. Yeah, not a problem, man. For me, like, I think it's more about sharing the info about what you actually use for your business, more so than just promoting products, right? So, like, let's say, I don't know, like, I don't run, right? Like, I'm not a runner, I'm not a marathon runner, jogger, nothing like that, right? But let's say out of nowhere, I was just like, yo, you guys should buy these running shoes. And you guys would be like, wait, what the fuck is he talking about? If I'm not actively using those running shoes to run, why would you even think about like taking my advice on what running shoes to buy, right? So I share heat presses I use from Heat Press Nation. I choose I I choose to talk about the transfers I use from Supercolor. I choose to talk about the embroidery machine that I use from Racoma. I'm just sharing the shit that works for myself and I'm seeing a little bit of success with. So that's why I'm like, yo, I use this. This is how I'm selling my stuff. These are the transfers I'm using, the blank t-shirts I'm using. This is how I'm pressing it down to make some money. So then that way I could try to help the next person coming up and being like, yo, man, like I heard this guy talking. Are the heat presses I use and the transfers that I use the only thing on the market out there? No, that's just what I found to work for myself. And that's why I'm sharing it. You know what I mean? So anytime that like I talk about something, there's no real motive behind it. There's no like AS Color. I talk about their t-shirts all the time because I think it's a dope shirt, but they don't say, hey, here's a check. Talk like mention AS Color every time you turn the camera on and we'll pay you this much. There's none of that. Like it'd be dope if that shit was the case, but for me, I actually use the shit and I like wearing the shit. So I'm like, yo, I'd rather tell somebody like, hey, check this brand out. AS Color's dope. If it's not within your budget or if it doesn't work out for you, that's fine. I'm just sharing the information on what I think is cool and what works in this industry. You know what I mean? It's basically how this whole channel works. Which DTF do you do the second press on? That's just like Supercolor wearable. That's when I do it. They recommend a post press, like the 2-3 second press after. So that's what I do. I use my notes app and I have a 5x7 journal for ideas. You never know when inspiration hits. And inspiration comes all the time, like all the time. That's the whole reason why I made the churro brand for Disneyland is because I was walking around Disneyland and I'm like, yo, man, I can make shirts over here. And that's all I did. Concrete Jungle. I have 21,000 following on Instagram for my podcast page about hip hop, everyday culture. Having a hard time finding the right way to promote merchandise advice. Fuck, with 20K following, you should just be dropping shit. Just wear the shit. Like whatever you're promoting. Like if you're dropping merch, wear the shit on this like for a couple shows. You know what I mean? For the couple podcasts or something like that. If you, I don't know if you have guests on your show, give some shirts to the guests so then the guests can hold it up and like, yo, thanks, like as a gift, like, yo, thanks for being on the podcast. Here's this shirt. So then they could pull it up on camera in front of your audience and they'll be like, oh shit, yeah. Link is in the bio if you guys want to support the channel or whatever, or you want to support the podcast. But I would start dropping it like subtly. This is how I would probably do it if I had podcasts. You have a decent following, like 21K is fucking cool on Instagram. Is I wouldn't just come out and be like, buy my merch, but they'd be subtle hints, man, of just me wearing the shit. And then it'd be like just slowly dropping it in. And then, like I said, if you have guests or if you don't have guests, that way you can start like, what's the fuck is Gary V. He has a book. It's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And what he talks about is adding value before you actually drop a product, right? So the jabs are the values. So if you're just podcast talking about hip hop, talking about what's going on, the culture, blah, 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 you're adding value to that community already. You got 21,000 people trusting in whatever you're talking about. By the time you drop that right hook, which is the product you're trying to sell, you already have that built up community. So the way I would launch it, like if I was consulting with you, is I would tell you to start slowly talking about it or showing it off on pod, on video, without the link in bio yet, without anything to say like I'm selling these shirts. Just start wearing it, put it together with some dope ass outfits. I don't know how much you show on camera, but start putting it together So that way it's presented well to your audience and they're no stranger to it when you actually say, yo, if you guys been seeing me, I have these shirts and this is where you could find them. You know what I mean? But I would subtly start doing it. Or if you're in the process of making the shit yourself, I would start showing the process of you making it. Yo, this is me testing out all these blank shirts because I'm thinking about dropping merch. This is me in the design process. Or if you're not doing the designing, you're working with the graphic designer, film some of your meetings and be like, we're trying to lock this down. So then that way they are along for the ride. So then when you're about to drop the shit, bingo, they're like, yo, we've been seeing this. We've been tagging along for the whole journey. Now he's dropping it. Let's go. That's two ways I would do it. Subtly start showing it or showing the whole process. Hopefully that helps you out, bro. Will you be at Taste of Soul? I won't be at Taste of Soul. Sorry, man. Levite, what's happening, man? Florida checking in. Christine, what's happening? I live next to a 27-hole golf course. I don't like golf, but I agree with what you just said. They don't have anything cool or dope. That's exactly it. I'm not the ambassador of cool, but I do feel like if I was going to get into golf and I wanted to buy golf gear, I would want to buy some shit that I would like or relate to. So that's who I would design the shit for, is like some casual ass beginner golfers that don't know shit, that ain't trying to wear polo shirts every day. I want to wear some cool t-shirts, or I want to wear some cool hats when I'm at the course. That's what I'd be trying to sell, man. How do you feel about the current streetwear brand scene? If we're talking streetwear and not like high fashion designer shit, streetwear is still dope. I think Undefeated is still dropping dope ass shit. There's other like the crazy, not the crazy brands, but I call them high fashion brands where it's like Hellstar and Denim Tears and all like those other brands. My younger son puts me on to a lot of those companies. For me, I'm not into that kind of shit. But when I'm talking streetwear, I'm thinking of like Union, Stussy. I'm thinking of Undefeated. Supreme's still cool. It's not as hyped up now, which is cool. Um, but when I'm thinking of like those types of brands, I think the shit is cool. Like I think some stuff still is relevant and still timeless. Like there's some pieces that are still dope. Like every now and then my older son will send me some shit from Undefeated because they're still dropping a bunch of shit. And sometimes you'll see me wearing some shit. Like it's a no-brainer that I still support that brand and rock their shit. So I'm kind of biased in my answer. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think it's cool. The louder brands and the other new high fashion type stuff, I don't wear. So I'm not really a customer for it. You know what I mean? What I do think is, I think a lot of the younger generation now associates price tag with cool. So the more expensive something is, even though it looks dumb, they're gonna think it's cool. And I think that's where the shit kind of gets kind of lost. For me, streetwear is like, if the shirt looks dope, then you buy it, right? Like if the shirt matches whatever you're trying to do, that's what the era of streetwear that I come from. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like old school shit from like Iceberg History and stuff like that. When stuff is considered cool and you could put the outfit together right and you look cool wearing the shit, um, and you feel good wearing the shit, then I think that's all that matters. But when it's associated with a price tag, like I got these dumbass looking jeans, but they was $500. So look at me in my $500 jeans. I don't consider that streetwear. That's kind of corny to me. But like I said, I'm a nobody in this shit. Like I'm an old man that just likes wearing cool shit. So for me, it's not like I wouldn't be looked at as some kind of fucking fashion influencer or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like majority of the time I'm in black t-shirts, man. Like this is a born and raised t-shirt, but my closet is full of just black t-shirts with print on them. Like, and I just got cool sneakers. You know what I mean? I still rock like cool shit. It's just very subtle and it's very not on trend, I would say. Like I'm a fan of Air Max 95s and nobody used to like that shoe. Nobody. especially the younger generation. Younger generation don't give a fuck about no Nike runners. Like they don't care about Air Max, but because they're hyped up, fucking Air Max 95 sell out all the time. Like OG colorway shit, like Neon 95 is my favorite shoe. Shit sells out, and these young kids don't even know about that shoe. They don't even care about it, and they're like buying the shit up and trying to resell and stuff like that. That kind of shit bums me out. Thanks, so not a problem, man. Been watching you for a minute. Appreciate you, bro. Not a problem. I got to check out the podcast, man. Concrete Jungle. Is that what the name of the podcast is? So I can check that out. Thanks for the knowledge. Time for me to head back to bed. 6 a.m. comes quick on the East Coast. Damn. Hey, I appreciate you for jumping on, Justin. Let me see. Concrete Jungle. I'm gonna check you out on Instagram, Brody. Would love to send you some of my new stuff coming out. Not asking for promo, just a way to say thanks. Hell yeah, I appreciate that, man. When I get my PO box set up, it's on. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you guys for jumping on. I appreciate everybody for asking these dope questions today, man. And like I said, every Tuesday, 7 p.m., we're doing this thing. So, be safe. Appreciate you guys. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Thank you.